Today we're going to be doing another keyboard video, but this time it's going to be a Halloween theme since it's spooky season, and we've got the Z11 mechanical keyboard here. It's on Amazon. It's only 17 bucks. It's a fairly cheap keyboard. It's not the greatest, so let's mod it. Like I said, the Z11 keyboard is a mechanical keyboard that's cheap with hot swappable switches, but not really, so that means we're going to have to do some work on this keyboard to actually make it moddable. And wait, where'd you go?
Here to mod a keyboard.
No, you can't mod a keyboard.
What do you mean I can't? I'm gonna mod a keyboard.
No, stop, don't do that.
It's alive! It's alive!
Okay, now let's actually get into this modded keyboard. Like I said, it's a Z11 mechanical keyboard. It's on Amazon, 17 bucks. It has blue switches with it. It is hot swappable, but not really. It doesn't actually have the hot swappable mechanism on the PCB on the back. They're kind of haphazardly done. There's a way to explain it, but I'm not gonna get into it. And the reason why, because these hot swappable switches, they're there, but they're so tight. And I've already tried to put the switches we're gonna put in there and they don't fit. So we run into an issue. We gotta do some filing. So what are we gonna be adding for switches to this? The thing is though, it's a Halloween keyboard, and the whole theme I thought of is this keyboard's gonna be loud enough to wake the dead. So what switches really can wake the dead? Especially if you're part of the modding keyboard community or mechanical keyboard community, you know they are Jade switches. These things are really, really loud. There's a hybrid of this, and I forget what the other one. Those are technically the loudest switches, but that's what we're gonna be using for this build. And I'm gonna be adding, just for the Halloween theme, Halloween keycaps. These have like skulls on them, bats, reapers, just a Halloween aesthetic in general. So it'll be pretty cool in the end. And we're also gonna paint the outer housing to hopefully make it glow. So that's gonna be pretty cool. Okay, so we're gonna get into this mod. And the first thing we gotta do is we have to tear this keyboard down, which means we have to take off all the keycaps, take out all the switches, and then take apart the keyboard and separate everything so we can begin the painting process. Okay, so now that we've torn the keyboard down, we're gonna do a little sanding to the keyboard in general so that we can get it to the point where we can add some glow paint to it. That'll be fun. We're gonna go outside and actually sand it because we don't wanna get sand, well, plastic dust all over the studio. So it's a beautiful fall day out here over in New England, and we're gonna sand this lovely finish down, which is, it's not really that great of a finish, and a wonderful tribal tattoo. I'm not sure what year they think this is, but oh well, it's gonna go away. Okay, so now we've got it all sanded down, ready to apply some paint. And we're gonna begin with this stuff called the Deco Art Ultimate Glow paint. And the reason why, so I've checked out a few different glow paints, and one thing I can say, do not buy the Folk Art glow paint. I tried it about 4 different ways and it didn't work, didn't glow. Well, it glowed, but you could barely see it. This stuff supposedly is the stuff I found. When I saw Ultimate Glow, I was like, okay, have to buy it. Bought it, checked it, did an experiment, and so far it worked. So we're gonna apply that to the base layer. So next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna mix this distress stuff with some orange acrylic paint, because I was debating on the color and I just kind of ended at orange Halloween. Why not? So we're gonna mix this with this, so this will crackle over the top of that, and then all the cracks should glow, hopefully. So let's start mixing this together and then getting the second coat of paint. Okay, so as we literally wait for paint to dry, we're going to be sanding down some switches, and you're wondering what are we sanding? How are we sanding switches down? Well, okay, so these are the switches that came with this keyboard. These are blue switches. I think they're Automa blue switches anyway. They're not bad switches, but we want loud switches. We want really loud switches. And the problem is there's 2 pins here. Now, when you put this in, this pin right here is fairly thin on these switches. Now, that's fine, but most standard switches, that pin is actually thicker. And like I said, these aren't exactly hot swappable things on here. Well, I don't even want to call them. They kind of haphazard their way into calling this hot swappable. It's really not. So it's a really small enclosure. So I actually have to sand down every left pin to make them fit. So if you're wondering, I already try to kind of force it through. It ain't going to happen. You're just going to break the pins off. So let's get to sanding. We've finally reached the sanding of the final switch. Okay, so as we're done painting, we're done sanding switches. Holy God, never want to do that again. Painting came out great. The effect was perfect. We did a little bit of a test on how well it glows. It glows okay, not as well as I wanted. I think I do have to add like 4 layers of the glow, but it's what it is though. It came out pretty good though. Still, the aesthetic is actually really cool. Looks like it's all cracking and falling apart, and yeah. So anyway, so let's get to reassembling this keyboard, putting the switches in, putting the keycaps on, and seeing how the end product looks. Okay, so as we got our switches on after hours of filing, we're gonna start getting keycaps on. And these are actually really, really cool. And the reason one I wanted to highlight is the space bar has the Grim Reaper on it. As we start putting these caps on, it's gonna look really cool. It's gonna really start coming to life as a keyboard in general. And then we're gonna do the sound test, obviously, and hopefully it's really loud, because I think it's gonna be. All right, so we've finished the keyboard. It is loud. It's not as loud as I wanted it, but it is pretty loud. It doesn't glow as well, as you'll see right here. It glows okay. It's not great, but it was an attempt. It's best we can get it, so it is pretty cool. We still got the crackle effect, which came out really, really cool. This Halloween orange color, which is kind of neat. Then we have our keycaps, which are pretty awesome. These are actually one of the cooler themed keycaps I've actually seen. They're fairly cheap, they're only 20 bucks. It's a neat little Halloween theme, why not? So now, how loud is it? So let's get into the sound test for all you who want the ASMR of a really not great sounding keyboard. Thank you for what the? Holy, what is happening? Holy. There we go. Sorry for the interruption, folks. Thank you for coming along on our journey of transforming this keyboard into a wonderful, horrific work of art this Halloween. Hope you've enjoyed it. For more builds, make sure to subscribe. Don't forget to hit that like button. Leave a comment, it's really helpful. Helps the algorithms, what I'm told. Not even sure what that is. But do it. And if there's a bell, well, bells are meant to be rung, so you might as well hit it. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time on the next Tech Prime Media video. On to the next keyboard.